Today on Gun Reviews with Brett, we are going to compare the Mossberg 930 and the Mossberg 940 Pro. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to go over is a lot of the outside aesthetics. We are not going to talk about the action because they're exactly the same. First off, you have 940 Pro and you have the 930. You'll notice the difference in design in the rear buttstock from the 930 to the 940. Next, on the 930, you're going to notice this front furniture is a little bulkier. While the 940 Pro, they did make it a lot more sleek, a lot more streamlined. And there is various other design changes. You notice that this front up here is different. It's at an angle versus straight, like the 930. They did change this up here on the 940 versus the old school one up here. Now, when it comes to the triggers, you'll notice they look a little bit different, but they operate exactly the same. They have the same feet per pound. I've never had a problem with it. I've never measured it, but they pull exactly the same. Next, on some of the improvements on the 940 Pro versus the 930, they call them improvements. Let's go with the 930. You'll notice this charging handle right here. It's very small, but it works just fine. While this one, they actually put a bigger one on. And if you watched my last 940 review, this is an aftermarket one. Mine got lost in the field. So they wanted to put a bigger one on so people could grab it a lot easier. And the problem that they have is these easily come out and just fall off in the field, and that's what mine did. But if you're somebody who likes the bigger charging handle like this, they fit onto the 930. So if you have a 930, I suggest just buy an aftermarket charging handle for the 940 Pro and just put it on your 930. The next thing is the release. Now, this is the Mossberg 930. You can see it's very small, and I've never had a problem with it, but apparently Mossberg thought they needed to change it. And in my opinion, this is truly the only upper hand the 940 has over the 930 is the bigger release button here. It's easier to grab. It's a lot nicer, but at the same time, it wasn't really needed, but it is the only upper hand, in my opinion, between the two. Now with this next part, I'm gonna go over a lot of things which I call useless improvements. And I am gonna show you 940 Pro right here. Now their claim to fame, and they look, not claim to fame, but they really put this out there that they rounded this out right here so you don't pitch your fingers in there. But if you notice, this area is straight. Now let's look at the 930. It's basically the same thing but reversed.
Got him!
That's all they did. Now let's see which is easier to get your finger pinched in. I've had a 930 for years and never had a problem. I actually prefer it like this with this rounded out area right there instead of over here. Right here, I'm having more of a problem. I'm not getting my finger in there as well. And with this sharper edge on this side, this moves. You're actually gonna pinch your finger worse here than you would here on the 930. By changing this, it was useless. Now here's another useless improvement on the Mossberg 940 Pro. They changed this color. They made it orange. Didn't need to do that. While you have the 930, it's just black. Now, I don't know about you, but if I want to know if there's a shell in there, I'm going to look for a silver or a brass color. I don't need it to be orange at all. And I'm not trying to be mean here, but I'm not having Helen Keller reload my shotgun. So that is another useless improvement with the 940 Pro. Now let's break these open and look at other improvements and failures. So they're both opened up. We have the 930 and 940 Pro, as you can see, because of course the 940 Pro's got to look all fancy and whatnot. Everything is pretty much the same when it comes to the standard stuff. The springs are the same. These are basically the same. They added more of a cover on the bottom here for their ridiculous little notch they put here again. But here's the thing that I don't get. With the 930, you have that spacer tube. It's just a regular tube, just a metal tube. That's it, really lightweight. Then, the Mossberg 940 Pro, why? Why did they need to contact Tony Stark to make this ridiculous piece? This does nothing. It acts the same way. Actually, the 940 shoots worse than the 930. But you have an octagon one. I don't know if they're trying to get more air through it or how it cycles. I don't know. But they didn't need to change a simple tube that does the job properly to putting on Iron Man's finger piece on this gun. This is a waste of time and a waste of company money. Just go back to the simple tube. This works great. Next, we're going to talk about pistons. Pistons, that is the main thing about a semi-automatic shotgun. If you got a bad piston, it's not going to shoot that well. Now, this is the 930. You can see it just sits flat all the way across. While you have the 940 Pro has a gap in here and on the other side. So let's pull them out and look at them. So this is the piston off the 930, and it just spins so freely. I don't have to clean it that often. I can go all season and just use this. If I'm going to use the 930 for deer, ducks, pheasants, and geese, I do not have to clean this all season. While you have the liar of the bunch is the piston for the 940. It's got this skinnier piston and it gunks up so easy. It is garbage. This is a garbage piston. I don't know what they were thinking. Every time you go out and shoot, you got to bring this home and clean it. Even after it's cleaned, I'm having a hard time spinning it. It's almost like it's got like gunk inside of it. And they want you to take these little rings out of there every time you clean it. So you go out shooting for one day and you only shoot about 50 rounds, got to clean it, take all the rings out. Next day, next day, next day, same thing with hunting season. This is garbage. So let's put these up together and you'll notice that the 930 is more beefy than the 940. Now finally, between the two, this is also a big issue, is your tube that holds your shells. So this is the issue, and this happened. Taking this out and shooting it, this 940, and I only put about 10, 15 rounds at most before it got stuck. And what it is this line right here, this little, I don't know what you call it, a burn line, but let's take a closer look. If you notice, there's a little bit of almost a crease in it. Let's go up, see if you can see it better. Rotate that around. And both the ones I have that. You can actually see right here, right there, that there's kind of a little line that I think throughout time it's going to crack. Let's look at the 930. Now you can see there's a little bit of wear, but there is no dimple. There's no crack and no dent. So this different tube is definitely something they did to change for weight. It is just garbage. This is a garbage tube and it will fall apart, and I'm just gonna run it until it breaks, until I can't do anything to fix it, and this will end up going in the trash. I probably won't have it for, another 5 years tops, but I'll always have a Mossberg 930 in my arsenal when I go hunting, because they are just a bulletproof gun for semi-automatic. I mean, for deer hunting, goose hunting, pheasant hunting, anything you want to use it for when it comes to hunting, this is the one you want. So while this has improvements, some of the improvements made it a failure. So there it is. That's the differences between the 930 and the 940 Pro. And a lot of us know that the fastest shooter in the world, he was asked by Mossberg what would he change on the Mossberg 930, because that's what he used to make it better. Well, Mossberg definitely didn't do that. They wanted to make things lightweight, make it faster, but in the end, it has a problem cycling with certain rounds and gets a lot dirtier, and a lot of the pieces are now cheaper to save on weight. So is weight more important than function? No. That's why the Mossberg 930 is way more superior than the Mossberg 940 Pro. Now, I know you can buy the fancy ones with the extended tubes, all that stuff, and I just say that's a waste of money. Just stay away from it. I wouldn't buy it, but it's kind of up to you. If you're a competition shooter, I'm sure you're not going out and buying a Mossberg 940. But as us hunters, we want something reliable. This is not. This is the 40, but the 30 is. And I have seen a video where somebody was clocking when he was comparing them. And I think it was a difference of a gnat's fart on how fast it was. And that gnats of a fart and the weight loss and cheapiness of what they replaced with these things made this terrible in comparison to the 930. So tell me what you think in the comments of this review. I know there's some 940 lovers, they love it. And there's some haters, and I want to thank the people who comment about their problems they've had with the 940 Pro, because those really need to be put out there, because there's a lot of people showing off the 940 Pro or really just have their nose so far up Mossberg's butt that I can smell that crap from here. And I'm a Mossberg guy. Mossberg, this is the message to you. Dump this turd, the 40 Pro, and make way more of the Mossberg 930s. Bring them back, because there's still some out there, but they basically just make the base model. And I'm fine with that, because that's what this one is, and it's way better than that fancy turd. Until next time, God bless you guys. And again, you always want to give something a second chance. You always do. But sometimes, like it says in the Bible, you have to cut things off. So, until next time, God bless you, and have a great day.